Hey everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon Productions. Today, I'm going to be discussing something I've wanted to discuss for months now. Series 2 of the Gladiators revival. Last year, I did a discussion of the first series from 2024. Now it's time to discuss the new series from 2025. There's more to come, obviously, with the live tour this year and Series 3, which is currently in development. So let's kick things off, shall we? Contenders, ready! Gladiators, ready! The review will start on my whistle. 3, 2, 1. Just as good as last time. Even better than last time, actually. So, obviously, this is the second series of the current Gladiators revival on the BBC. Same set, same presenters, same gladiators, a few new things here and there, and there's a lot to go over. First of all, Bradley and Barney Walsh are back as presenters, which is brilliant because those two are absolutely hilarious. I love their dynamic. All the gladiators from the last series are back, so that's very good. So people like Dynamite, Fire, Diamond, Apollo, Bionic, Viper, they're all back. Sadly, though, we did lose a few during this series, just like we did with last time. Last year, we lost Comet and Saber due to injury, and this year we lost Nitro and Giant. Nitro suffered a knee injury during training for Series 2, and Giant seemed to pull a bicep during a game of Powerball, which is a massive shame because they're two of my favourite gladiators, Nitro and Giant. But we did bring in some new gladiators as well, so they were in good hands. We have some new gladiators called Hammer and Cyclone. Hammer, his brilliance. He's the epitome of strength and speed, and he's got an actual hammer, so I just find him really cool. Cyclone, she's quite tough. She's got quite a lot of strength on her side, but I think she's got way too much attitude, so if you ask me, I honestly prefer Hammer over Cyclone. But they did have some good introductions. They did. And I can't wait to see what else they can bring in the next series. The contenders have been absolutely amazing. Nathan was a particular standout for being the first contender to last a full round of Duel against Giant, and as well as being the first contender to ever beat Bionic in Duel. Although his main goal was to face Legend. Because it was like, I'm coming for ya. That's what he said, yeah. He was basically calling Legend out. There was also Amanda, who was absolutely incredibly tough. She was probably one of the toughest contenders they had. I mean, even in the grand final, she gave Fury possibly the toughest fight she ever had on the edge. There was Muss, who was an absolutely rapid contender. Like, he's insanely fast. He's brilliant on Unleash, and he's faced off against Phantom there a few times, and he basically became Legend's nemesis after beating him so many times on the wall. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, and we have got some new games this time. The games from the last series were brought back, so Duel, Gauntlet, The Ring, The Edge, all that sort of stuff. In fact, they've altered Gauntlet a bit. Where in the first series, the contender had to get past 4 gladiators in 30 seconds. This time, they've got to get past 5 gladiators in 20 seconds. And the 4th gladiator in the gauntlet that they have to face has this new shield thing. You have ramrods, you have power pads, and now you have a shield, which I think is very cool. So that's obviously made Gauntlet a lot tougher. And of course, there's the new events as well. The return of a classic event, Atmospheres, where the contenders have to roll in big metal cages over pods to score points, while the gladiators try and knock them off course. Then there's a new event, Crash Course, where the contenders do a 2-lap race in the Atmospheres, with the gladiators providing obstacles. And my favourite, Unleash, where the contender has to run around a track and grab a flag at the end while being pursued by a mystery gladiator. When I mean mystery gladiator, we don't know who it's going to be until they're set loose, which I find insanely cool. And And also, Mark Clattenburg, the referee, has some new lines for Atlaspheres, Crash Course, and Unleash. In Atlaspheres and Crash Course, he calls out, "Atlaspheres, ready!" And on Crash Course, he also calls out, "Contenders, you will go on the green light." Yeah, it honestly is set out like a Formula One race with red lights counting down, and then boom, they all turn green. And Mark even has a checkered flag. I find that a really nice touch. Unleash, though, absolutely brilliant. "Contender, you will go on my whistle, and then the gladiator will be unleashed." Absolutely fantastic. I love Unleash. I love it. Like, it's probably one of my favourite new events, as well as the Edge. And also speaking of Mark Clattenburg, he seems to have gotten a new look since we saw him last series. His uniform has changed. In the last series, he had a referee shirt, a regular black and white shirt with short sleeves, but this time he's opted for a more longer sleeve shirt. I don't know what's prompted a uniform change, but I don't know if it was a higher up decision or if it was Mark's decision, but still, I enjoyed it. I like the new uniform change. I like it. And of course, the Gladiators are back, and we have seen a lot of improvement from them throughout this series. Like, for example, Athena has been showing a lot of versatility on the events she's been a part of, showing excellent form on games like The Wall and Hang Tough, which have been absolutely incredible for her. We've seen Comet in a lot more events, actually. Obviously, she's well known for doing The Wall and Hang Tough, but we've also seen her on games like Collision and Duel, and I think she did pretty well on Duel. She hasn't beaten anyone yet. She hasn't knocked anyone off, but she does pretty well. We've only seen her on twice, but, I think the only Gladiator and we've also seen Apollo and Legend go on Duel for the first time. Apollo and Bionic actually went on Hang Tough for the first time. Fire had a Wall debut. Dynamite had a debut on the Edge. Saber has had a debut on Collision. There's been a lot going on, really. But yeah, it's all been pretty good. And Viper, he's improved quite a lot since we saw him last. For one thing, he hasn't broken any rules. He's played it by the board, and he's had a few wins, which makes it good. And he's also spoken a lot more. Like, we've heard a lot more from him, which I find a bit of a plus, because we didn't hear him speak that much the last series, and he did break a lot of rules. So I think and he's been a lot more entertaining as well with his antics. I tell you, Viper has improved a lot from last series, and while I'm still not the biggest fan of him, but I am liking him a lot better than I did last series. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for the other Gladiator on my negativity list, Legend. Yes, if you guys remember from my last video, you will know that I'm not the biggest fan of Legend. I thought he was okay when we started first series. I thought he was okay, just a little bit sure of himself and, that sort of thing. But then his arrogance, his self-obsession, and his excuses just overflowed. And by the end of series 1, I was not a fan. He was my second least favourite because Viper was my least. But now the roles have reversed. Viper is my second least favourite, and Legend is my least favourite Gladiator because he's gotten worse this series. He's made a lot more excuses, and he's gotten even more self-obsessed. His ego has inflated even more. And he actually, although he has had a few good moments, I will not lie. Like, for example, his undefeated streak on Hang Tough was finally broken by a contender called Joe when he became the first contender to beat him. And then Legend wanted to take on the next contender, which was Mus, and then Mus beat him. That was probably my favourite Legend moment from Series 2, when he was called Double Loss Legend. That's probably the only time, well, one of the only times that he made me smile. The other time was in the semi-finals after a game of Gauntlet, where he was just saying how he does all the work, but then Viper took the mic from him, told him to shut it, and then the two of them got into a scuffle. It could have gotten ugly if the others hadn't actually got involved. That was unbelievable. And one other thing, he managed to get the rules of the wall changed in the grand final, where the contender and gladiator have a straight race up the wall. Now, while it was a bit of a cheap tactic so he could beat Mus, I actually kind of like it. I like the idea of the wall, the race. And if Atlasphere's Crash Course has proven anything, making a spin on an existing event, it works. So in Series 3, I really hope that they make the wall, the race, an official event. I hope they do that, because that'd be brilliant. I don't think I'd like this to be just a one-off. So yeah, all in all, Series 2 of Gladiators has been incredible. And the Gladiators themselves have been as entertaining as ever. I always enjoy watching them, apart from Legend. But I can't wait for Series 3, and I cannot wait for the live tour, because I am actually going to be going to one of the live shows. I'll be heading to Manchester in November to see the Gladiators live tour, where the Gladiators will be competing against returning TV contenders, which will be absolutely incredible to see. I can't wait, and I'll be sure to do a video on it when I've seen the show. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of Series 2 of Gladiators. What was your favourite event? What was your favourite gladiator? Who was your favourite gladiator? What was your favourite moment? And who is your favourite contender? And also, tell me which events you want to see return in Series 3. I'd be happy to hear your opinions, and I hope you all enjoy this video. So until the next time, take care.